wellness. I'm Precious Mother Love. Welcome to the next Heart Happy Hour. Land of Love. Today is Black Love Day. This, meaning February, is also Black Love Month. Oh, I love it. I love it. The energy, the highlight, the extra attention that we get during this time, good, bad, or otherwise. I love it. I love the fact that we get the opportunity to highlight some information, make it more plain, make it more clear. People get, we have the children that do Black history, I want to say homework, but school reports, reports that they have to do that kind of gets them digging into some of the things that might have happened in our past. And I remember learning a bunch of things, new things every year. My daughter was a part of this thing called the Black Saga, which they had to learn this really thick book of all these historical facts, things that really weren't as major mainstream information, and it was very enlightening for me as well to be helping her to study, because it was Black Saga was like one of those like a Black Jeopardy show, but all Black history facts. And so you had to answer these questions at a specific time. You got so many points. There were competitions. They would go from school to school, district to district, around the state, and if I'm not mistaken, around the United States, the continuity. What do you call that? Continental U.S. But man, I had some things I wanted to talk about today because of the fact of the timing. I mean, things are clicking and popping into place that are making sense to me. Let me turn the music all the way off so it's not distracting in the background. But OMG, there's some things that I feel, I went to Atlanta, and on my way down, um I got some communications from Atlantis. I want to say Atlantis because it sounded like gurgles and underwater talk. And so I don't know if, that was symbolic to me, for me to know that this was something of the nature of that. But I wanted to be able to give Black Magic 363 a crown. And I prepared the crown before I got there, but I wasn't satisfied with giving it to him as that. So I didn't give it to him that night. I just kind of let him know I'll give it to him. Um, and I wanted to, be able to get back to him with it, which I did, which ended up being my second Melanated Monday. And during that time, while I was still working on it and preparing it and upgrading it and bringing it up, and it still can be upgraded even more, because I wanted to share with him that, put a feather in the cap and call it macaroni. You remember Yankee Doodles? Put a feather in his cap, and he called it macaroni. So I'm not finished with the conversation with him. I'm hoping that I can give him some further insights or share some further insights as to what was downloaded to me that day. And when I presented it to him, I made it sort of a private thing. And then I started talking about it in a public way, about a private thing. So hindsight is 2020. I'm still learning how to listen. I'm still learning how to move forward with the instructions, and hopefully I'll be able to have more insight to share. But right now, I just know i was I was given the notion that he was a chief, and that I should, as Mother Love, as the um, I can tell you all the reasons why I think I'm a credible person to suggest him to be the king of Black media, or the king of getting digging into the truth, because he actually interviews some very, very, very knowledgeable resources. Each of us has our own lane, and we travel in this science of self, as we discover things, so I'm in this discovery phase, as I traveled. I got this download. I got there. I realized at the time that I had not bedazzled, but I had not included some of the stones that I thought that would be beneficial to him, which actually he suggested that just whatever you feel, whatever feels right for you. And so I put together that something that had, like, stones that I thought meant something to him, including blue sapphire, but mostly black stones that were, and for me, I called it black magic. So in any case, to move forward with the rest of the story, so I get a lot of downloads. I get a lot of things that are later researched and tied into the previous steps. I'm learning how to connect the dots. And so one of the things I did, and I want to read you this because this I'm going to break it down afterwards, but this was something that I posted and then I shared with some friends, and it's actually in reference to Black Love Day, and it goes about, it's more in detail, in depth about the time, the sign of the times, where we are now in this phase. The previous broadcast, I did something in reference to where we are in reference to the Kali Yuga. We're, moving into the golden, the newest age. And so or era. Um, and I felt as though I was downloaded some information in the middle of the night and all kinds of things were popping up. And so when I started writing this that I'm about to read, all kinds of other stuff started popping up. So this is where I started. It did start with, let's just read it as I wrote it, okay? Score a big win for the Indians and Aboriginals across the globe. There's more method to the bowl of the Superdome sized meals and deals to mix and fix. I don't know if you understood it as I said it. Score big for the Indians and Aboriginals across the globe. There's more method to the bowl or of the Superdome sized meals and deals to mix and fix. First, it's official. Black Love Day is an official holiday. The African American Holiday Association, started by my friend Mama Ayo. She has made it an official. This is the 31st celebration of Black Love Day. So happy Black Love Day. Also, also, because all these holidays, holy days that we have, they line up energetically and cosmologically. So also, today is considered, and I'm wishing you a happy Shrove Day. Shrove Day is the Tuesday that's just before Mardi Gras. Um, happy Fat Tuesday. Happy Mardi Gras. And happy the last day to decide on your Lenten repentance and fast. LOL. And I wrote FOH. Fuck out of here. They hide stuff in plain sight. In order, in the order from winter solstice to the spring equinox. This is what I've seen, and I'm connecting the dots. There's the 12 days of Christmas, which I always thought preceded Christmas, but no, it's the 12th day after Christmas. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah blah blah, 12. The 12th is the 6th of January. That day is Happy Epiphany Day. So from the 12 days of Christmas, January 6th is the 12th day of Christmas, Three Kings Day, Day of Epiphany, which is also the beginning of the Carnival, which goes until Mardi Gras, which is also to get today's date, which is the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday. That was about to come in, and so I had to stop it. But okay, which is when? Okay, so the carnival starts and it goes until Mardi Gras. It starts on, if I'm not mistaken, the 6th of January, which is the 12th of day of Christmas. And so we go into this carnival phase, and all these different countries are involved in doing that, observing the cosmological effects of where the North Star had aligned. And, they have these things like these in New Orleans. I know they have the king cake. But you have the 40 days of ascension, which is Lent, which starts, so you party hardy up until you party hard up until Mar, Mardi Gras, which is the final day to enjoy all the delights of your heart, the things that you're going to fast from during Lent. So you have Lent for 40 days, and then after that, you have the 7 days of Easter, the holy days, the holy week, and also today is considered Pancake Day, which because apparently some traditions are where you have the pancakes, you clean the coins, you clean the gifts, you clean whatever you're going to put in the pancakes, but you hide it in the pancake. Oh wow, I see some response. Okay, well, I can't read it all together, but I thank you for joining in, and let me finish reading this and then I'll try to read that. Okay, give me a moment. But anyway, so we have Holy Week, we got the king cakes, the pancakes, and all these things too are to observe the energetic cosmic events that are going on in the sky, where we line up with those things. And we don't necessarily connect the dots to these things. We don't connect winter solstice to Christmas all the time. I say we, but there are people who don't do that. I have now begun to do that. There are people who can um, also, winter solstice and Christmas. There's Kwanzaa, there's Hanukkah. There's all these other energetic ways for us to segregate ourselves and celebrate separately, but we're all celebrating under the same big sky these same cosmological events. So when the North Star lines up, that's when the day of Epiphany comes. And you know what Epiphany means, right? So then we also go into, I was going to say celebration, but I think it is sort of a taking advantage of, you know, like if you know you're about to die and you got 40 days, what you gonna do on those 40 days? You're gonna party hard. You're going to be able to get it all out your system before, that's also 40 days is the amount of time that they say when you actually pass those 40 days, after 40 days after, they consider you to have ascended, and it lines up with what we do during Lent. I don't have all the answers. I'm just connecting the dots. So, um, if we knew what to sift out and what gifts, instead of the kicks that we get off these celebrations, what to sift out, wow, it goes really deep. It says, I'm saying here on my notes, that it's driven by the moon's menstrual cycle, and the holy days, or these holy days, occur on moon days or Mondays. The blood of Mary, covered by the blood, right? Etc. Altogether, it divides to conquer the masses. It divides us into these celebrating groups, and we don't all understand that we are all under this one big sky. Which later I'm going to be telling you about some things that I've seen come from the sky, some alien visitors, some foreign visitors from other rocks in the sky, other rocks in the solar system. I'm not exactly sure all of them. Let's see. Love your hair, madame. Oh, thank you. So natural. Um, so, and I also think that the building of, the Tower of Babel, because we were all working on one accord. I think that tower was a very instrumental, I was going to say incremental, but instrumental. I think we are in increments, getting back to the place, all of our languages are now, we're starting to get back to moving past what the words are and getting more into the feeling, emoting more. Um, so I think we're getting back into our natural sensitivities of aligning with, sun up to sundown, the moon month, the month of new moon to full moon, so that we can line up with the energies that are naturally, we respond to and we tune into. So anyway, so I read what I wanted to read about that, but I did want to go into some of the things that I talk about in here. Well, let me just say this one last thing. And I said this. I says I'm gonna be quiet after this one. But yeah, stuff is clicking and popping into place. My decode ring is rhyming the timing and filling the gaps, then map the traps. Signed for the times, hidden in the bushes, picked to change the truth, like easily caught fish on April's Fools. So, we know that the time of April Fool, it was the beginning of, it is beginning of spring. It was around when we would observe our new year. But because we had to go back and line up with these new calendars, Gregorian and so on, because I know it changed 3 or 4 times, that we changed the timing of when we considered our New Year's. So now, when that was when it was decided that it would be in January, the middle of winter, what's new about it at that point? We had it kind of lines up with the day of Epiphany, though. So there's some different reasons why I can see them lining them up with them, but it also gives us a bunch of confusion. So let me see if I can go back and read some of these. uh it says spiritualism made you in that way. Stop retrograde. Oh, stop propaganda. Only two of us are here. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for coming. It says Christ and religious life. Okay, negative energy you will think. And we love, oh, and love your hair, madam. So, I mean, I'm saying that Christianity, now, I'm told now that there's a different way to read the Bible and to read it all as parabolistic, or read it mostly as a parable. Because when you read through the creeks and crevices, crooks and crevices, when you read it through the lines, it lines up with some other added value information that don't, you can't take it for face value. You actually look at what the face of those things symbolize and what they boil down to, so that you can get into um, the meat and potatoes of the message. It says, there is no God but God. Jesus is a prophet. Oh, I will go with that. Okay, I will go with that, because greater things than these shall ye do is something that I believe. I believe the God in me, the God spark in me, the God light in me gives me a connection to the original energy, or to where the source energy is from. So if I'm connected like the mycelium, I can tap into that energy and do greater things with my energy, if I so choose, or if I know how to choose to be in that light. But I think that, we don't connect the timing, the dots that, from winter solstice to the spring equinox. We don't, we, hmm, folks a lot of times are not looking at the biggest picture, the big picture, the cosmological, the up in the sky thing. We don't walk around looking up all the time. But I tell you, if we did stay up with our heads tilted up, like some highfalutin folks do, they keep their head tilted. And I told myself, I likened myself to that the other day, because I started getting a little more confidence and a little more security in how I conduct myself. Like I'm meeting people who, when I look at them, I'm like, they're like steps up from the kind of folks that I would hang out with. They're enlightened. They have a better lifestyle. The quality of their life is, I won't say above mine, but they've got a perspective of the kind of spiritual aspects, and they're tying that into their lives, and they're living an elevated or ascended way of thinking, the lifestyle. And love plus art equals wellness. That is a lifestyle for me. But I think I want to turn up the volume on the quality of my life. I just attended One Love, and shout out to Shakara, who invited me to do, I think it's called the Forum. And it is another word that I'm missing with it, but she's definitely telling me, she got me to go through this. Yesterday was self love day, self proclaimed um, high priest, master Shep, he actually proclaimed Self Love Day to be yesterday, today, which is Black Love Day, because we know Mama Ayo, who initiated the Black Love Day and got it to be a part of our Black um, of holidays that we observe in our culture. So, it comes before the day before Love Day, or the International Love Day, where Cupid's involved. But all these things are really, like, the moon is very fertile right now. This is the time when cosmologically we are able to pierce the veil. And it's just like in the dead of winter, when things are in hibernation, there's a stillness there that we're able to pierce. And at this time, the cosmological lineup is it's like the heart has an open, the moon has an open heart right now. It's open and fertile because it's kind of like its menstrual cycle. It has those 7 days, or and I don't know what our days are like as opposed to the sun up and sun down, the calendar, the cosmological, like all these planets have different, like the moon moves at a different pace. So I don't know what a day is in the day of a moon. I mean, in the moon, a day of the moon. I don't know what that timeline is. But I will say we are now beginning to be able to chart when she's most fertile. And I know we say she, Luna. um, and it says it's not about energy. This world has one creator, but two or three or more, dot one creator, dot one God. Okay, thanks, Sisla. I appreciate you, giving me that, but I'm not certain how to chomp on that one because the words are kind of a little choppy. So give me another note so that I can tell what it is that. Explain that to me a little bit. But anyway, so what I wanted to share today, and I'm going to be quick about this. I'm not going to make this a long deal because I said the meat and potato of what I wanted to say was, which was that we need to pay attention to the big picture. I'm going to be talking a little bit later with the Rod Martin from Why the Big Secret, And once I give him more of my story, I'm going to debut my UFO story somewhere big. And it may be with him, or it may be with Rich Magic. And it may be with on my own show. But I've got some things that I want to share with you about dimensions and times and what I've seen on the other side. I mean, I get downloads all the time, especially after I sun gaze. I get these downloads about what's next, what to do. I downloaded the Gateway Meditation that actually came from starting from a dream, and then the downloads came in 7 consecutive days of do this first and do this and then do this and then do this. I mean, it lined up, and then it's an awesome attraction that I'm finding folks that are really trying to get into it and have found some use of it. I get you into the gateway with this breathing exercise, with the tapping, with the all of the sacred things that I tap into, including music, including sacred audio, just a lot of sacred, which was secret until it was downloaded to me. But some sacred things that we tap into, we put it together into a formula, and the formula itself is working. I'm finding more and more and more ways to work it. And I mean, like from getting money, from receiving calls, from my car that I am sitting in now, I mean, like so many wonderful things that I have been able to glean from this. So, Sila or Selah says the most important thing in life is we have to know our Creator, our God, and worship God. This is the most important thing in life that people are ignoring today. Well, how about if I say the God in me? If you love your neighbor as you love yourself, but you never love yourself, do you really love your neighbor? So I say love upon yourself. Love the God in you. Bring out the God in you. Connect to the God in you. And then look at the broader sense of what God is. We're all a God spark. We all have that remnant of God. We're all potentially able to do greater things than these. So I definitely agree with what you're saying. And I'm not disagreeing at all. I'm just saying I want to add a little smidgen to it to say I consider myself maybe, little g lowercase God, but I consider myself to liken my potential to the level of a demigod or a deity. Now I'm not saying that I won't ever be able to join forces with the fullness of the God energy. I'm hoping that someday I am able to magnify into the position. I think that's what these planets are doing. This is me putting dots together. What resonates with me? I think that the stars, if we are made of the stardust, if we are congruent to the energy that makes up a planet, then who's to say that at some point I won't be the gleam in someone's eye and one of those stars that's in the sky and have the potential to wield my weight around, and be a celestial body in the ethers, so I think that I am potentially in that realm. I'm going in that direction. I was going to say I'm glowing. I'm glowing into that direction. My light, this little light of mine, I'm letting it shine. So I also have, it looks like, believing your God is a sin. Oh, okay. That makes you so different than the devil. That makes you no different than the devil. It says we are made in his image, but people really think they are God. Well, I am my ancestors. So if my lineage and my ancestors is the original source is in my lineage, then I'm that too. I'm all those things. I add up to some value of all my ancestors. And if God is one of my ancestors, then I am the sum value of, and can potentially pull us all together, and we all join forces and we can become. I don't want to, belittle the scenario of the potential, but I feel good about the fact that I can do greater things than these. So I'll stop there. We have a soul in we, but we are not God. God is not inside us. This is ethics, goodness, but not God. We are human beings. Okay, well, we'll beg to differ. Pride is a sin. I heard you say that too. Vibe telefy, or how do you say it? Vantality, okay, or so pride. I'm not going to say that I am free of sin. But when I do get to my agape mindset, I do rise above what my emotions are, what my inner yearnings might be. I detract from that when I go to what I feel is the gateway. When I get into the gateway, and which I can say I've traveled from dimensions. At the age of 5, that was my first time of traveling where I walked through a wall. See, a lot of people can't say the things that I can say where I actually have experienced the greater things than these shall ye do. If you've ever read the book Autobiography of a Yogi, Yogananda Paramahansa, I've met him, and I met him in the realm. And he actually took me through a initiation process where I leveled up 3 times, and then he awarded me a gift, and that gift was a tricolored metal necklace, which I actually brought back to this dimension with me. So I've done some dimensional travel. That was as an adult. The stuff that I did as a child when I was 5 years old and I went to that dimension, I had to prove to myself as a scientist at 5 years old. I wanted to see, did I actually go somewhere? So I took some hairballs with me, and I went to the other realm like I had been doing many times, and I left that there. And I came back without it. So in my mind, I proved to myself that I went somewhere because I left it and I was able to come back without it. Now, I've actually walked through walls several times with several people as an adult, including, having other people with me, but guided by someone who I think was an alien. And I say that because when his veil dropped and I saw what was really there, actually was a lot taller than the human. But I call him Mr. Charlie. His name was Charlie, but I call him Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie showed me a lot of things. He gave me books that said secret codes of the universe. It had some secret codes in it. He gave me some books that I later, I did go through them. I absorbed what I could. I was still on um, uh, uh, Similac, or still on formula, baby formula, in the church at the time, because I was looking for more of the spirit, more of God, and that's what I told him. I said, hey, I'm looking for more of God. I feel like I have a hole in me where I need to fill it with more of God, and so he showed me these books, thick books, big books, like big. And he tried to show me some things, but he told me he would sit here to deter me from my path, because I was going to get onto some things or do some things. And I don't know what all of what my path would have entailed without the encounter, or if he thwarted anything, because I, disconnected and then reconnected and learned more and have been accruing more and more information. So I want to read a few more of these comments that I see. I say, believe in your God. Okay, I read that one. I read the vitality or vitality. I can't read all the little letters. I should make the letters bigger. It says, we are a soul, but we are not God, and God is inside us. Okay, I read that. Pride is a sin. Remember. Oh, here we go. This is a newer one from Vitality. It says, remember the serpent from the Garden of Eden said, forbidden fruit will give you knowledge and make you like like God. Okay. It's not a coincidence that people think they are Jesus or God. Now, I line up with that information because I definitely feel like, when he says greater things than these shall you do, I think that's why, as you say, it's not a coincidence that you line up with this information, and then you liken yourself to the prophet. And it's also he's this astro. I'm sorry. You say astro projection isn't holy either. Now I didn't say it was, but I'm saying I'm seeing more than the average person would see of the realms of um, what lines up with the potential that folks aren't aware of, that are places that we can play in, or we can have some control over. What additionally what we have here in this human being. Um, so I don't say that was of God. I'm just saying I was given the opportunity to use some new game controllers and to be able to use this vessel with some new powers, some new controls, some new, the X, the triangle, the circle. I now can use different combinations and go different places. And so what's the next one? It says, LOL, everyone says these entities are tall, not a coincidence. I swear, because this particular, when the veil dropped, this being was very tall, and their snout was out further than what their face would be. And I say snout because it was some kind of, it was drippy, it was wet, it was like the nose of a dog, but the snout had all of that on it. Um, and that being told me when they gave their soul to the devil. So that being had some recognition or resonance, or what do you say, reverence of God. But they also, and of the devil, and they had some powers. I mean, they had some tremendous powers. One thing in particular that I'll tell you about, which I'm going to debut in this revelation that I'll talk about later, like in a whole nutshell, I'll talk about Charlie, Mr. Charlie. So, but he showed me, because he was a carpenter. He made all the furniture in the place that he lived. To get to where he lived, he did a Harry Potter thing on me. We walked through the walls to get to where he lived. So, but where I was, he was actually telling me a story, and he showed me some of his magic. He had a mirror, and he was telling his story, which I could see in the mirror like it was a movie. Like I could see everything that he was saying, including when he went to, because that was where he had his episode of being confronted by the devil, and the devil had says, "Hey, I got some things that I could get. That if you did these things for me, I will give you every, the what is that of your heart? The desires of your heart." And so, and he became the devil's minion to do his dirty work, or and I don't know, how all that works. I'm not going to tell you I know the answers to everything about that, but I just know he said he showed me the scene where when he gave, excuse me, the devil rights to his soul. He sold his soul to the devil. So it says, you said the devil's gonna act like God. Jesus even said Lucifer will be the God of this world. I believe this is a text if people follow the devil before you get into heaven. Okay, there's a lot of things to be distracted from in this realm where you would think that it is of God, and it could be not of God. And then Selah says the devil wants people to worship him and not God. Yeah, I could say that. I could see that the worship of God, or I'm sorry, of the demonic side of things, the dark side of things, the I don't know if I would say the negative side, because negative and positive is two different things, even though it's the ends of the two spectrums, with shades of gray in between there until you get to totally white and totally black as far as negative and the light and the dark. So I do think that um, the devil is we have the devil in us. We have both good and bad in us. We make the choices. You choose to do good, or as good as you can, or be as good as you can, or you choose to do bad, or not good. So I choose to be as good as I can, as the human person I am. I try to know what the good things are. I try my own versions of I even try to twist things into, oh, if I did something that was bad, I sometimes try to flip it into an alternate or alternative news for myself. I flipped the script into, okay, well, now what can I make good of it? Like let's make a lesson out of it. Let's make a blessing out of it. Let's make something good happen. I think that's what happens when a lot of people that do bad, when they sow back into like their old neighborhoods, doing good things for charities. A lot of folks who have money that are not doing the best things in life with their money, one of the ways that they even out that karma or the energy that they carry with them, how they make themselves feel better, is by actually doing something good for others, and getting joy behind that, and lightening their heart with that. I believe that does help to lighten the heart of the matters. When you have to weigh the heart against the feather. I believe that doing the good for our communities and good for those who are um, having difficulty or in harm's way, or finding ways to make a foundation in your life, that you're going to do good by others. And the more you make it public, meaning the more people who actually see it, the more views you get, the more folks that it can actually be seen by, the more it amplifies the value of the actual act of doing it, which is, when I said I gave him the crown, I didn't give him the fullness of the explanation. So I'd like to be able to share with him how to amp up that gift to where it actually adds more value to where what he's doing within the community, Even when he prays, because when I wear crowns, I believe it helps to focus my energy, but it could be one of the reasons why when a king wears crowns and they have all these jewels in it, the energy of the jewels, which I'm wearing, some yeah, I just have the copper on my ears, but I have some of the stones on that I think are helping to amplify my energy, amplify what I'm trying to convey, amplify who I am. Precious Mother Love, which is a name I got, was given to me because of how much I loved up on people, how much I had a non-biased way of dealing with people, how much I would bring harmony to the discord, how much I would offer of myself, and in ways showing by my actions, my activity, what love is. So I began to personify Mother Love, and I really enjoy the lifestyle that I've begun as a vehicle of love. So happy Black Love Day, folks. Happy Black Love Month. Thank you for stepping in with me, and sharing a few words with me. It says here, Selah, the devil wants people to worship him and not God. I don't think we have the devil inside us, but I understand what you're saying. We do bad things too. Yeah. So, okay, so you're saying we don't have God in us. So you're also saying we don't have the devil in us. So I get that, but I'm just saying, I think I have remnants of God in me. I think I have the original source codes in me that if you were to do my lineage, you could go back and you could um from the beginning, you could find where we all began. I believe I'm part of the all. So if I'm part of the all, then yeah, I have some remnants of the original source codes that came, in the beginning was the word. I have that energy in me. It says here, Selah says, the energy stuff ends with the person to guide him to magic. So yeah, I use my tools wisely by choosing and selecting the energy. I do tune them up and I do connect with them and I do give them instructions. It says okay, so this energy stuff ends with the person to guide him to magic. The bad meaning of it, and magic means to worship the devil. Oh, look at you trying to say that if I decide I can do magic. If I say I can do magic, you're saying that that is worshiping the devil because I find out that I have more controllers on the board that can do certain types of magic. I don't know. I'm not going to say yes or no about that. Let me research that and feel a little bit more confident. But right now, I say I can do magic, and I don't consider that in any way devil worship. But I can understand. You say I'm a Muslim, and this is your belief. Now, I took the Shahada too. In my seeking God, in my way of looking to and for God, I found the Muslim community very comforting in my time of need. They were very supportive and helpful in helping me to find um, peace that surpassed the understanding at that time. And I looked and thought that the discipline that is held within that sector of our population, I found it very admirable. I found it very, very comforting. I mean, the women welcomed me in a way that I had never been welcomed before. Um, but then, and I went to the Farrakhan side of things too at some point. That was earlier on in my life in the 80s. I was welcomed into that group too, but in a different way, because they actually put me to work in a discipline where mass media, which is what I went to college for, broadcast journalism. I've been on TV, I've been on radio, I've had my own radio programs, WPFW, WDCU, and now I'm back doing my podcast and stuff. But mass media broadcast journalism, I'm born in the month of September, so I'm under Virgo, which Mercury is my planet, which communications is something it comes naturally to me. So I find myself being raised to new levels by all these groups that I continue to try to grab a hold of, in that I feel have enlightening and ascending focused energies. I'm a part of the Temple Mother Earth. I'm a part of ISC, which is the Institute of Spiritual Enlightenment. I'm a part of the Chi Collective Health Initiative. I'm a part of I Am It, Indigenous Aboriginal Man in Trust. I'm a part of a lot of different groups where we are pooling ourselves together, coming together as a community to elevate ourselves, to enlighten ourselves, to educate ourselves, to improve ourselves, to aspire to new heights and new ways of living with a lighter heart, with um, a lightness of, I suppose, at some point where we are rising above the gravity of what earth is holding us down with. I feel like the lighter I get, the less grave things are. And I'm speaking in these terms because it says that we're just energy never dies, right? So if energy never dies, then the energy that energizes this vessel will move on to the next levels and into the next places of wherever the mission, the quest, wherever it takes us. It says, yes, I did do the Shahada. Actually, um, I participated in a lot of um, different religious sections and groups. Um, this time it was, I felt the need and the desire and was led to this particular group of people. And shortly after that, I met some people and ended up getting engaged to a Muslim guy, which I later decided against because he had had a wife, a first wife, and it didn't appeal to me. Polygamy doesn't appeal to me, to be second or third or whatever. Now, the way our society is, it's kind of a practice without um, spoken and unspoken practice of our population these days. So it says, nice to listen. You're talking about Muslims that nice way. Oh, well, I don't have anything bad to say about people who are different from me because we worship. Um, we're all looking to go to the same place. We just call the place a different name. And that's what I think. I think that we're all looking at the light and we're looking to be of the light or to do the right things in the light, because what's done in the dark will come to the light. Well, I think we're on the same page as far as aspiring to do better, to be better, to have better, to know better. So, and I like it myself, so I can say that I want to say part Muslim, um, because I have taken it into my heart that it was something that became a part of me. So I want to read your next quote. It say, believe me, nothing ever enlightened my heart as as much as, I guess, understanding the words of the words of God, and feeling to know God, and near God. It says, new to your channel, can you tell me what you do and do on this channel? I'm excited to know what you do. Talking Shahada means, oh, is this the same person or different? No, that's someone different. So Sahil, I don't know how to say your last name, beginning with a C and ending with Bra. So I talk about the science of self. I learn things about how to better myself, how to better know myself. How, like, I've had some spontaneous healings. I've had bones to heal instantly. I've had um, burns to heal in very shortened periods of time. I like 15 minutes for bone, one particular bone. Just me making the concentrated effort, I healed that bone. I also have had where I was healed from various disorders, in some cases instantly, but in some cases a shorter healing time frame. In a lot of cases in 3 days, whatever it is that is bothering me in 3 days, how the doctor puts you on 3 days bed rest. There's something to that. I am someone who has learned some of the healing hacks in life. I've learned some of the ways to get from where I am now to the goal in a shortened period of time using energy, using certain other energetic tools, lining up with certain cosmological, energetic holy days, using the holy energy instead of directing it towards whatever the holiday is that they say that we're observing as a global, or sometimes sectioned off into whatever religious sectors. I use them and apply them in ways that I can tap into that energy for the source of what I desire, of improving my life, the quality of my life, the quality of people around me, the quality of the world. Because sometimes I'm praying for the good of all, and not necessarily praying just for myself or my own family or the folks I know. I'm praying for my whole block, my whole community, my whole county, my whole state, the whole uh, uh, continental U.S., and then the whole globe. And actually, I even pray for the whole, anything I don't know that I can include as far as a place, the galactic, the celestial, the cosmological, the multiverses, whatever I can imagine in my mind. Because if you can conceive it, if you can believe it, if you can see it in your mind's eye, it puts you closer to the likeness, or gets you closer to the image of it, so that you're able to energize it. I can connect to it. Once I see it, I can connect to it, and hopefully improve it, or improve myself, or so heart happy hour is making yourself happy and making others happy. So that's what I say. Okay, so what's yeah, that's pretty interesting. Oh, thank you. Very well explained, though. And yeah, I subscribe to your channel. Thank you so much. But it it vibes with me. I also want to grow and get a better understanding of life. Yeah, that's basically what it's all about. That's what I'm doing. I'm learning more about myself, and as I learn more about myself, the controllers on this game, it seems like I get like some new controllers pop up every time I hit a new vessel, a new buzzer or whistle, bell or whistle, or I'm playing a not ping pong, pinball game. I feel like I'm upping my levels of control. I'm upping my levels of what I am capable of. My capabilities improve every time I solidify that level. Once I get good at that level, I'm given new levels to be able to rise to. And I rise to these new levels, because I started making stone jewelry, or using these crystals as a child. And I didn't know what they were, the special stuff about them. I just gave them away as gifts, and I would put little notes on it, or as a child, I just was very creative about a lot of things, and I think my creativity is what allows me to tap into some things, because they say that the creative energy is when you can get into the mindset of God, or you get into the likeness of thinking, I don't want to say outside the box, but in a grander, um, an expanded way. So I just, things that I tried as a child, I have now expanded on, and now consider myself to be mastering. I am mastering these things. So it says, I am 20 and I really want to get better at life. Well, I can help you with some of those things, and we can have a conversation offline. You can inbox me and we can talk about some specifics, because I can be very general today. But the more you sit and take time to reflect on like what good happened today, what didn't happen today that should have happened today. Like when you reflect on, and you take the time to really think about and concentrate and focus your energies on the things that you would rather to have happen, those things will happen more often. So the things that you don't want to happen more often will begin to happen less often if you focus on them less. So that's just something, just a quick thing. It says, my mom sacrificed a lot for me. Yes, that's beautiful that you would actually see that. It says, so it feels like I have to give her back the efforts. Okay. Well, when you get to be a little bit older, you'll be able to see yourself in those shoes. Or maybe you can now. Maybe you can see why she did some of the things that she did, or see the value in the things that she did. Because, like you said, you feel like she sacrificed a lot. Well, that's the reason why a lot of people go back and, once they make it famous and make it big, they go back and buy their mom's houses and big things that they know would make them happy or make their lives easier. So if there's something that you can do for your mom, to ease her struggle or to ease her life right now, those would be ways to give back, whether it's to do some house and some chores around the house, whether you can cook for them or replace some meals for them with, something that you made or that you ordered in. I'm not saying ordering in isn't a good thing to do, because if you decide, oh, she likes this restaurant, oh, she likes this particular way this group prepares this meal, maybe you can, Mother's Day is a very special time. Mother's Day is every day, really, for me and my daughter, me and my child. The way we talk, I get gifts from her every day just by hearing things that she says to me that, like, it has formed in her from something I said or something I did or something she saw me do. And once I see these things starting adding up and I hear her talking about these things and I hear how she comes across as now she's like better at it than I ever would have been, I'm just so happy and so thrilled and so pleased and so, I know pride is a sin, you said earlier, but I'm so proud of, you know, greater things than these that I'm doing. So, and so it says here, Uh, so, it feels like I have to give her back the effort. So yeah, so I did speak to that. So one love and wellness, we're gonna call it a day. I appreciate everybody joining me today. I really, really, love plus art equals wellness. That's my lifestyle. So I appreciate you guys allowing me to share my lifestyle with you. And that's so nice of you to explain it to me. And really love the conversation, ma'am. Oh, thank you, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Oh, so Love plus art equals wellness. Heart Happy Hour season 4 is getting better and better, and I'm going to be revealing more and more things that you would have never have thought that this vessel has been through. So stay tuned for the next episode. I love the fact that I am picking up more people on my lives. I think you should read the Quran and go to the my. Yes, I have read the Quran, and I have gone to the temple or the mosque, and are, as you considered yourself, part Muslim. Yes. And I have the feeling that I will be visiting again soon. And I'm not sure how regular, but thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the reminder. Thank you for bringing that back to my mind, because there are some things that I found very comforting in that, in worshiping amongst the mindset that there is amongst the Muslims. So I appreciate that so, so much. Oh, it's 2 a.m. there. Okay, in my place. It says, I would really come back to get more information from you. So, yeah, inbox me and we can take it from there. Or you can Google me and you'll be able to find all the information as far as how to contact me. Just direct message me from any of these social platforms under the same name, Love Plus Art Equals Wellness. I have a website, I have a Google site, and you can definitely go through. It's my family calling now. Got to get off the phone, got to go. Ashe, one love and wellness, everybody. Thank you for joining us. See you next time. One love. Peace.